What's up guys, Vulkan here, and today we're talking about the best ways to get legendary loot in Outriders. Now we're covering guaranteed legendaries, the best farming spots, and why you might need to run lower challenge tiers instead of challenge tier 15. But before I jump in, I did want to point out that I noticed a lot of people are watching the videos, which is amazing, but a lot of viewers aren't subscribed. So I wanted to ask, if you guys like the content, please consider subscribing. My goal is to hit 100K subscribers by the end of the year, and I definitely need your help. So with that out of the way, let's dive in and get started finding some legendary loot. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the most straightforward farm, and that's expeditions. Now in-game expeditions are unlocked once you complete the campaign, no matter what level you are. And these are the most straightforward way to grind legendaries, and this is also the way the developers intended players to grind. But because these are timed and heavily dependent on the challenge tiers selected, some players aren't big fans of this type of content. They don't like time trials, and some prefer other methods that we're going to talk about. Now within expeditions, if you're someone who just unlocked challenge tier 15 but you're barely able to complete it on gold, or 90% of the time you're always in silver, then go ahead and farm CT 14 or even CT 13 instead. You'll have a higher chance at legendaries if you're able to gold those versus always silvering a harder tier. And at this point, speed is your best friend, so run expeditions that you can complete super quick to build up those legendary and epic drops. And I know some of you might be wondering why you would do that, because the actual item level is lower and you're going to need to level up your gear anyway. And that's absolutely correct, but you'll be earning so many resources that it won't matter. Spin the pods, level up your CT 13, CT 14 drops, and then crush CT 15. Next up, let's talk about monster hunts. So hunts are a series of quests that are unlocked once you talk to Noah in Trenchtown. Now these quests send the player out to hunt down named beasts across various zones in the game. And these quests are super short, and once you complete all 10, you can return to Noah to get a legendary item. Now this only works the first time on a fresh character, so if you want to keep farming this, you'll have to create new characters. But either way, this is a free legendary that's going to give you some mods or a really cool thing to use. Now we obviously can't talk about monster hunts without mentioning bounties. Now bounties, or the wanted posters, are the same as hunts, but instead of hunting down creatures, you're taking down humans. Now these unlock after Trenchtown, and you turn them into an NPC named Ujiro. And just like Hunt, after you kill all 10 of these bounties, you'll get a legendary item. Now for me, bounties take a lot longer than hunts. I feel like the target enemy is much deeper into areas, and you have to travel further each time to find them. So if I had to choose between the two, hunts are the ones I would go with first. Now if you want to blow through all of the bounties and the hunts really fast, set your world tier to 1 and finish all 9 of each category, and then set your world tier to your maximum world tier to get the legendary at the highest level you possibly can. This makes the whole thing go much faster than if you wanted to grind through it all at the hardest difficulty. Now the other thing that kind of goes with bounties and hunt are the historians. Now this is the last NPC that gives a guaranteed legendary in the similar vein to hunt and bounties. Again, throughout the zones, you're going to find these areas called historian areas. In here, you need to find a specific item to bring back to the historian in Rift Town. Once you collect all 10, she'll give you a legendary item. Now, when it comes to guaranteed legendaries, we also have some that come from bosses. So you're going to be guaranteed 3 legendary drops from bosses throughout the game. I'm not going to give away any names to avoid spoilers, but you'll get one at about the halfway mark, another at about the 3/4 way mark, and then another at the very last boss. So even if you have terrible luck like me and you never see a world drop, you can at least count on those 3 to drop for you. The next thing that players definitely need to know about are what quests will give legendaries as a reward and what quests just give experience in blues. So in terms of your side quests, the first one we're going to talk about is the Lost Chapel. Now this is a quest at the Canyon of the Grand Obelisk on the quest called Sacrifice. Now in this zone, there are 3 keystones that a player needs to interact with, and once complete, you'll be able to open a door that contains a legendary chest. Now this can only be redeemed once, so make sure to unlock it on the highest world tier if you want to actually use the item. If you just want to unlock the mods, then it doesn't matter, you can run it all in world tier 1. Now the legendary items from this quest are anything special from my experience. I've gotten 2 Amber Vaults and 1 Migraine so far. If you want a specific walkthrough on this, the video is in the upper right hand corner. Our next side quest that gives a legendary is a longer quest, but it has you investigating an old bunker called Outriders Legacy. Now this quest begins in Trenchtown at the Hanging Body in camp. This one kicks off a series of quests that span across multiple zones zones, and I would highly recommend completing this one after you finish the campaign. That way you have all of the zones and the checkpoints unlocked, and it makes this quest much easier to finish. So overall, I really liked this quest. The story it told was really well done, but it does have you going back and forth a lot, which I wasn't a huge fan of. So be ready to revisit the quarry and retrace steps quite a bit. But at the end of this one, you'll get a legendary item, and this seems to be a good one to get some of the more unique legendaries. I've gotten a Death Shield, Jinx, and Roaring Umbra from this quest so far. Now the last side quest that gives a legendary is super quick, and it's called Big Iron. Now this one doesn't unlock until later in the game. So once you hit Uturgak, Chana will have a quest for you called Big Iron, and this is an extremely easy one to complete. You just need to accept the quest, work your way to the quest area, and collect 3 weapon parts. At the end, return to Chana and you can choose between the Airy Master shotgun, the Landlubber sniper rifle, or the Grim Marrow machine gun. So once you've collected all of the free legendaries, there are a few places that are amazing farming spots if you don't like expeditions. The first ones are the world drop farms, and the first farming spot is the Warlord. Now the Warlord is on the quest Investigate the Source of Light. This farm is extremely fast. You just need to run to the area where the Warlord spawns, kill the Warlord, and then let the leftover enemies kill you. When you respawn, you're going to be right in front of that enemy, and you can very easily rinse and repeat. Now the next spot is simple and in my opinion much more effective than Warlord, and that is Horus. Now Horus is a hunt that takes place in the dunes, and it's only available if you have the hunts quest active. So if you turned all of those hunts in, go back to Trenchtown and talk to Noah, and you can start up a new hunting season. Once you have the Horus hunt, you can very easily farm 2 elites in under 15 seconds, and this has been the most effective world farm for me so far because of the fact there are 2 behemoths you can slay pretty quick, and my results have been somewhat positive. I've gotten 4 legendaries in 75 runs, and this is also an amazing farm for resources. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of titanium, leather, iron, all coming from these 2 elites that you can do in a very short span of time. Now the last one here is an oldie but a goodie, and demo players are going to recognize it right out of the gate, and that's Terra Firma. This is a side quest you can pick up in Rift Town, and for those that played the demo, Terra Firma is an extremely well-known side quest. This is where the original Captain Farm started. This one is by far the least effective, but some really like it and continue to farm it today, so I figured I'd drop it in there for those interested. Now, the very last farm we're going to talk about today is a co-op farm. So if you're lucky and you have a friend, then you can take advantage of one of the best farms in the game, and that's the Chrysaloid farm. So the way the Chrysaloid farm works is that you need to have a friend who's beaten the game, and you need to have a fresh character. So once you have a fresh character and you have a friend who's beaten the game, join your friend's party and have them load up the story point to tracking down the Chrysaloid. You're going to load in, and your friend who is just geared to the teeth is going to absolutely destroy this boss, and the new character is going to get a legendary item that they can either stash or break down. After that, you can delete the character, create a new one, and rinse repeat. This is one of the most effective legendary farms there is because it's guaranteed, but it also has the highest requirements because you need a friend who's playing the game, and on top of that, you need to have the patience to go through on new characters each and every time. Also, some think this is an exploit, others not, so it's your call to use it at your own risk. I know a few people in my Discord that have used this and been able to get some legendaries that they have been farming for quite a while. Okay guys, so these are the top farms and guaranteed legendaries you can earn in Outriders, everything that we know about so far, and I want to hear from all of you. What was your best legendary drop and where did it come from? Also, if you have a preferred spot, let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you guys so much for the support. This has been Vulkan, and I'll talk to you guys next time.